Hi, it's me. I was just doing a quick update. I had an appointment with my doctor today for a well woman visit, and apparently you're supposed to get those once a year, but some of us haven't been for a while. Anyway, so I had that done, and I've got a couple of follow-up appointments for something else, which I'll probably maybe let you know at some point, but probably not. Anyway, and then I got a call from my doctor about my plastic surgeon's office about my appointment on Wednesday, which actually, it was about my revision, which is in October, and they wanted to confirm it. And then it was funny because then she was hanging up, and I said, "Oh, could we just confirm the appointment Wednesday? This Wednesday. I want to check where it is." And she says, "What appointment?" And I said, "The appointment I have this week." And she said, "Oh, he can't make it this week. He's been called into the hospital and blah 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 blah." And I thought, at which point were they going to tell me? Anyway, so it's for next week now, and it's local, so that's even better. So Billy doesn't have to take a day off. So, yeah, what I was going to talk about is that was just a quick update. What I really wanted to talk about was this thing that's been going on around YouTube about people, and one particular YouTuber has gone on, and there's been lots of responses about fat people, and I wanted to do my perspective on it because I've had a weight problem all my life, and not that I've been heavy all my life, that I know that I'm prone to being heavy, and that I've always had to be very careful. I started working out at 15. I have been heavy. In fact, when my dad died, when he was that last month, because he suddenly got sick, he was unable to eat. I stopped eating, and in the 4 months that followed, I literally had 2 hot dogs a day, basically, and some fat-free milk, and that's what I ate for months and months and months and months. And since I was so heavy, I was around 172-ish, which is very heavy for someone my height. I lost a lot of weight, and I got down to 107, and I looked awful. This isn't the first time I've lost a lot of weight. After we moved to the States, I gained some weight, and then I lost it, and then I got pregnant with Oliver, and I didn't gain that much, but then I never lost it. A few years back, I've always exercised, basically from the age of 15. I've always exercised, and a few years ago I had preventricular contractions. I'd get tens of thousands a day, and it scared me because you get the extra heartbeat, and then there's a pause. And so I had a Holter monitor registering my heartbeat for 30 days. But I did some reading about it online and found out that magnesium taurate would help with that through forums, because I didn't want to have to go on a beta blocker because I already have relatively low blood pressure. And within the first 10 days, the occurrence of these PVCs dropped drastically. It went from tens of thousands to maybe a couple a day, and this was all registered on this machine. So when I got there, he said it seemed to have sorted itself out, and I'm like, yeah, it did. So I was very pleased about that. But for the couple of years that I was going through that, where it progressed to be tens of thousands a day, I was so scared to exercise that I stopped exercising. So I'd gained a lot of weight. I had digestive issues from the weight gain, from the pressure on my stomach, pushing down on my stomach. Stomach's up here, not down here. That's the abdomen down here. And so I gained weight. I didn't lose it. And so I was quite heavy when my dad was sick. And then I lost a lot of weight. But, you know, it's hard. I'm not going to say it's easy. It's hard losing weight. Everybody that's lost weight knows it's hard. And, you know, and I'm sick and tired of hearing the statistics about, oh, people who lose weight are going to gain it back. This was in 2011. I've gained back a few pounds because at 107 I looked awful. My boobs looked like deflated balloons. So I went up to about 112 and that was great. Well, so I've been around 115, 117 for a while, and I decided last Friday that I wanted to get back down to 112, so I've decided to get back down to 112 and see how I feel then. Because I think that when you've had problems with your weight all your life, and you've had people commenting about it, and some idiots calling you names, you end up, I think, I've heard the term body dysmorphic disorder or something, and you end up getting very paranoid about gaining weight, even if it's a few pounds. So I exercise a lot. Since I had to give up exercising for a few weeks, 4 weeks while recovering from the tummy tuck, I was very, very worried that I'd gain a whole bunch of weight. I didn't, but I was convinced last Friday when I weighed myself that I was going to have gained a whole lot of weight. Because when I look in the mirror, and I'm sure there are other people who feel the same way as I do, when I look in the mirror, I don't see what other people see. And my husband's told me this, Holly has told me this, my sons tell me this. I said to them last Friday, I'm going to lose some weight. I want to lose 6 pounds. And they said, why? Where are you going to lose it from? I don't see what other people see. To me, I see, and this is why I have long hair, I see big boobs, basically, and they make me, most of the time, feel like I'm enormous, because normally I wear things that will de-emphasize, what's the word I'm looking for, that will disguise the fact that I'm top heavy, and so I always feel that I look much bigger than I am, and I know it's not always necessarily true, but I just feel that I look much bigger. The other day I was talking to my mum on FaceTime, and I don't know if you've used FaceTime, but it emphasizes the thing that's closer. So all I saw was walking boobs. I was on the treadmill, all I saw was walking boobs. And I thought, my goodness, I've got to lose some weight. So last Friday I weighed myself, and I was 8'6", and before I had surgery I was 8'8", stones and pounds. That's 8'6" is 118, which is about what I've been for the last 3 years. And so I thought I want to get to 112. As of this morning, I had lost a pound. So I've got 5 pounds to go. The fact is, though, I'm short, and every pound looks like 3 or 4 pounds on a taller person. I'm 5 feet tall. And so having gone from 107 to 116, whatever the hell it is, 118, it looks to me like I've gained a whole bunch of weight. And I was really, I don't know. I thought, though, on Friday when I weighed myself, I thought I'd be at least 140, so at least I wasn't. But the point is, being overweight, being fat, being obese, whatever whatever category you fall under, isn't fun. A lot of people struggle with it. Tons of people struggle with it. People who don't have a weight problem making fun of people who have a weight problem are stupid. But it also works the other way. I have the ability to be very heavy, but I struggle with it, and I push myself to work out, push myself not to eat a whole bunch of crap that I could be eating, because let's face it, everybody else in my family eats it, and it's hard, it's very difficult, and it would be just so easy to fall into that cycle again, but I try really hard not to, and it's a struggle. Losing weight is a struggle. Keeping it off, it's a bloody huge battle that I will be fighting all my life. People who are overweight, who look at people who are either naturally not overweight. What's the politically correct term for it? Fit, whatever. Because a lot of people who are like what is classified as normal weight or underweight or normal thin, whatever the word is that you want to use, some people don't have to work at it. Lucky sods. But when people who are carrying extra weight look at people, say for example at the moment me, and are rude, because occasionally I've been known to eat chocolate, occasionally I've been known to eat, like a few years ago I ate an ice cream. I don't really like ice cream, but it was hot. And say, oh, blah blah blah. Lucky you being able to. I work out. I mean, up till my surgery, I used to do 200 minutes of treadmilling every single day, and I also do 90 minutes of weights 3 times a week because of my boobs, to help my shoulders to be able to support these freaking monsters. I used to do a lot of freaking exercise. Now I'm down to 100 minutes. Because I'm trying not to be as obsessed with exercise as I was, because it's a huge chunk of your day that goes if you're doing that much exercise. There's a term for it, that's anorexia athletica, and I quite see myself as being obsessed, because when I went to New York with Holly last year, I banked all my time that I was going to be missing prior to going, so I did extra every day, and I put it down with so sad and pathetic. But I know I have this problem. But I used to, I'd mark it on this plastic shelving thing that I've next to the treadmill. And when I had all the minutes that I needed for those 2 days that I'd be missing, and each day was 200 minutes, I knocked off a day, so that when we were in New York walking for miles and miles and miles, I wouldn't feel like I wasn't working out, because I'd already done them. That's how pathetically obsessed I am with it. And that's how hard it is for me not to gain the weight back. I'm trying really hard to maintain. When I feel like I need to get back on the weight loss thing, I will lose weight the way I lose weight. But this is the first time I've really put myself into the weight loss thing since I lost the weight 4 years ago. And really, I'm glad I only got like 6 pounds that I want to lose. But yes, I was watching something the other day, and I was treadmilling. Shocker, I know. And it was then. This is even worse. It was the New Kids on the Block tour thing that was on my tablet thing, and there was a cruise. Apparently, there's a cruise, and they're all big again with their fans. The group. I was never a fan, but I thought it was quite funny. But it was quite interesting. But anyway, there were these women who were the cruise stops off in somewhere in the Caribbean, I think, or somewhere, some island somewhere, and these women were coming out of a shop, and there were 3 women, and they were quite slim, and this large woman says, as these 3 women are leaving the shop, starts saying something about calling one of them an anorexic bitch. And this woman is walking away, and she says, "No, I'm not going to just let her get away with this. I'm going to say something." So she walks up to her and she says, "You know what? I've had anorexia. I am a sufferer of anorexia, and I have been hospitalized for it. So what makes you think that you have the right to say something to me about my size when I look in the mirror and I suffer for it, for what my eyes see and my brain, the message that my brain gets from my eyes? I don't see what other people see." And I'm thinking to myself, this is what I hear in my head all the time. And she said, "What gives you the right to turn around and say to someone like me that I am an anorexic bitch, like it's okay for you to say that? How would you like it if somebody said to you that you're overweight, you're fat, you're obese, or whatever? How would you like it? How would you react?" And she says, "Well, on the first day of the cruise, these women were walking, we were waiting to see one of the New Kids people, And they just barged in front of me and they called me a fat this, blah, blah, blah. And she says, and you think that gives you the right to turn around and say something to me because some other woman said something to you about your size? She says, it's not right. It's rude. It hurts my feelings. And this woman struggles with her size all the time, but it's the other end of the spectrum. So, I've been on both sides. I've been what is classified as obese because of my height weight ratio and the BMI thing, which is bullshit, but anyway, it's that thing. And I've also been normal. I've never been underweight, but I've been normal, and at the moment I'm in the normal spectrum. But there are people who are overweight who struggle with it and are still overweight. There is also people who are overweight or obese or overweight or whatever and don't struggle with it, and they're fine with being the size they are. I wasn't fine with being overweight. I wasn't fine with being fat. I wasn't fine with being obese per the BMI, and so I hid my head in the sand for a couple of years while I was doing through the health thing with my heart. And then finally I thought, screw it. When my dad died, I thought, screw it. I'm going to lose the weight because I don't want to eat. I was really upset. I was emotional. I was pissed off that my dad couldn't eat, and then he ended up dying. And then I thought, and since then I thought, I've got to keep the weight off because I did this. The only good thing that came of my dad dying was me actually getting back to fitness, to getting back to a normal weight, and I don't want to gain the weight back because I'll feel that it was for nothing. Not that it was for anything, but I'll feel even worse that this is nothing about how I feel about my dad's death. This is about how I feel about myself. I didn't like myself being overweight, and as a result of the weight loss, I did have the loose skin around my belly. And that's been dealt with now, and except for the sides, I'm very pleased with the way I turned out. I wouldn't have been pleased even with the weight loss, with the loose, saggy, disgusting apron, doughy thingy, because I wouldn't have been, but I'm happy with it now. Once they fix the overhang at the sides, I'll be ecstatic. And, this may help fix whatever's in there that my eyes are seeing, the message that's sending in there. I think that my husband was saying this weekend that I look great, but he never said that I didn't look great. But I think that with a lot of people who have this body dysmorphia thing that I feel that I probably have, it might be that we'll never think that we look great. But maybe one day we'll start to believe that, when somebody else says that we look great. And it seems like a really, really shitty, vain message here. But my message is that, I don't know, be whatever way you feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable carrying a few extra pounds, be that way and own it. I didn't own it. I'm trying to own this. And I'm getting to the point where I can now, because I think what finished it for me, culminated it for me, was the tummy removal of the skin. Because I always felt that as much exercise as I was doing on my abs, that it wasn't making any difference. I mean, I could see there was definition, but there was so much skin and stuff. Now I feel that that's showing through, and I think it's worth doing all this work, not just for my shoulders to carry the weight of these things, but to feel good about myself. I don't think I'll ever wear a bikini, but who cares? I'll wear a swimsuit. I've never worn a bikini because of that girls. But anyway, what I wanted to say about that woman's video is that, sure, some people just eat a lot, and it is a health issue. What I don't like is the people who are overweight and who obviously don't eat well and have overweight kids. And I think that we should educate, all of us with children should educate ourselves on how to feed our children, not just ourselves, but our children, because I think it's sad when the children start to have weight issues. And it's horrible that children, because children will get ridiculed. And it's not just children. I was in my 20s when people were being rude about my weight, and I was about 140 then. Not even as big as I got in the end. So I didn't like it, and things like that stay with you. Things that people say when you're growing up stay with you. So try to think, before you open your mouth and say stuff, because it can affect people in a negative manner and make them do stupid shit like, becoming anorexic, stopping eating, over exercising, eating very poorly. So yes, I should educate myself on eating, but I was doing well. I've been doing well for the last few months with the eating thing, and eating more meals, like small meals, and during the day, because I think that my metabolism got really, really sluggish because I was only eating once a day. So I was eating more times a day, and I should get back to that at some point. Anyway, sorry about this boring thing, but it kind of clears my head. All right, well, subscribe, blah, blah, whatever, thumbs up, write comments below with your experiences and stuff, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.